That's an interesting question. We've had a heck of a ride together, and it's had its bumps and bruises. I don't know about that. It's had its bumps along the way. There weren't bruises, but bumps along the way. Where with a lot of players, where he has a certain view of where he should be as a player, and where we thought he was at that time. And all he's done is continue to battle and compete and fight like hell to be the starting quarterback at Georgia. And it's a credit to him, it really is. I wouldn't say coaching him differently. It's just, I think over time, any relationship gets built through consistency. His consistency and maybe our consistency of our trust and consistency in coaching.
There are different ways to mechanical success for quarterbacks. There's a bunch of different styles or whatever, but you've obviously been around a lot of football in your life. Do you feel like in today's day and age there's a difference between the mechanics of East Coast quarterbacks and West Coast quarterbacks? And if so, what is that?
You'd have to ask the quarterback trainers on that. I do think that different than when I first got into coaching years ago, where you would get, a number of times you would get developmental throwers. There weren't all these quarterback coaches. There weren't wideout coaches. People have made a living of opening training facilities. Not only weightlifting, quarterbacks, baseball, basketball, shooting. So kids are further advanced than ever before. You go to camps now, you'll bring guys to camps, and there'll be 10 quarterbacks standing there throwing, and you'll look at every one of them and go, oh, that guy could play for us. That guy could play for us. Holy cow. Like, you're not, where before you'd be like, wow, like, that guy's got a long ways to go in their development. So when we get guys now, like, it's really a lot better. Like, they already have their guys that they go to. It's not, you're just trying to tweak it. And you know old school, different things. It's like what David Cutcliffe would say compared to someone now. What I would say compared to someone now. And how they mechanically work at things. And times have changed in terms of what you're able to get in terms of body mechanics, if that makes sense. Utilizing. Baseball's changed. Launch angle, right? What wins, right? 3-point shots. Things evolve. So I think it's evolved. I don't know East Coast, West Coast. I know guys that are accurate, mentally tough, and believe in themselves and are smart, tough. I don't care how they throw. I learned that years ago with like watching Phillip Rivers. You watch Phillip Rivers, like that guy. The way he threw it, arm angle. He's just a tough, smart, loves football, competes, and he's accurate. It's like, but you looked at it and go, I don't like the way he throws it. That's silly. That's stupid. So that was me when I was younger. Like Ben Roethlisberger, he's just big, moving around stuff, and you're like, I just don't like it. It's like, well, that's stupid. That's dumb. And it doesn't fit. You do that with everything. You do it with height, right? You do it with, it doesn't matter what it is. The way a person looks, the way you make general thoughts of. But at the end of the day, how do they play? Are they mentally tough? Are they smart? Do they love the game? There's a lot to that. Now you have to have a certain amount of measurable skill sets. You can. But the East Coast, West Coast thing, I don't know. Everybody has their style of how they teach.
There was a lot of talk about how physical you guys practice. Is it really different than other places?
I would say it is. I think that comes from the mentality of the head coach. I think you have a certain mindset of what wins, and there is a balance. And I think to say that's all we do is probably a stretch, because there is a balance of losing players or being banged up. But there is a certain part of still winning the line of scrimmage and a certain physicality that comes with that, especially the more the game's been played on the perimeter. There's always been a certain amount of physicality inside, but now bubbles and quick screens and how you play the perimeter and being physical out there, getting guys that don't normally want to play physical but have to play physical by the way the game has changed.
Does that have a direct effect on just kind of how consistent this team has been in terms of, you win a national championship last year. Maybe some guys relax and take it easy. After that, it seems like maybe your place is almost impossible. Yeah,
That's just not him. It's the head coach. It's not him. I think human nature is to settle. Whether it's recruiting, whether it's the way you practice, whether it's touching a line when you're doing some sort of drill, when it's finishing, that's just not his DNA.